The Halifax Speedway Team was established in 1928 when Speedway came to England. They raced for 3 seasons at the Thrum Hill Cricket Ground. 1929, Frank Ferret, riding a 500cc 2-stroke speedway bike, winning the golden helmet from a world-class rider. That was Billy Lamont in 2nd place. A 2-stroke 500cc speedway bike. Have you heard of that one before? I haven't heard of it. And it was a winner. And it was probably really loud. I mean, that buzzing sound of a 500cc speedway bike, 2-stroke. Wow. That's probably the reason why the Speedway Team only lasted 3 years. Probably the neighbors complained about that buzzing sound. Speedway was in England, and it lasted only a couple of years, 3 years. And there were some good riders there, and then the track closed. Speedway went dark for several seasons until 1948. They started a Speedway team called the Halifax Nomads, and they prompted needing to build a new Speedway stadium. The Shay was located in Halifax, that's West Yorkshire, in the country of England. It was a 400-yard track around. It held like 5,104 seats, and then they would fit like over 10,400 people, and standing room only. Shay was used for football, rugby, and of course, Speedway. Following year in 1949, they had a record attendance, over 18,000 people. Now the stadium had standing room for only 10,400. They had 18,000 people, so they thought Speedway was going to go real big. However, Speedway started waning off the attendance, and by the year 1951, the attendance really dropped, and the Halifax Nomads were forced to close. So you had the cost of running a Speedway team was very high. Then you had taxation by the country of England.
Oh, darling, save me, please.
Halifax was closed from 1951 to 1965, and an old Speedway rider resurrected it. He's turned promoter. His name was Reg Fearman. And Reg went ahead and he started the Halifax Dukes. And the Halifax became a very successful team. They became so successful that the following year in 1966, the Halifax Dukes, they won the league championship. One of their only ones. I think in the 90s they won another one. It was for a long time. And they won the KO Cup championship. Speedway was alive, and it was well in Halifax into the mid to the late 60s, heading into the early 70s. There was a whole slew of good riders during this time, and Speedway was really doing well. Going into the 70s, the Halifax team, they had a great turnout. They started building that team, they started getting some really good riders, and all was well for the Halifax Dukes. Perhaps their biggest signing was in '78 when they signed a young 17-year-old homegrown Speedway rider from their own town, their own city. Who was that? That was the amazing Kenny Carter. Kenny raced 8 seasons for the Halifax and Bradford team. He was just an amazing rider. He accomplished in 8 years what many riders wish they had accomplished in a lifetime. He was a 2-time British champion. He was a 2-time British League Riders champion. 2-time Golden Hammer champion. Was the world's best pairs champion 1983 with his teammate Peter Collins. He represented the country of Great Britain with the team Speedway. In the mid-80s, in 1985, the team of Halifax The management, they had an argument with the town about money, about finances, and the Halifax Dukes, they were forced to close, and they moved over to the town just a few miles north of Bradford. 1986, Halifax was no more. It was known as the Bradford Dukes, and they raced at a new stadium, not the Shea, but the Otisel Stadium over in Bradford. It was a 390-yard oval speedway track. 86 was a tragic year, however. It was the tragic year of the death of Kenny Carter. I'm sure that devastated the Bradford Dukes, made a big problem. However, the Bradford Dukes, they rebounded from the tragic event. They raced the next 11 seasons in the city of Bradford. 1997, they won their second British League Championship. '90s was a good year for the Dukes of Bradford. They won that league championship in '97, and they won 4 Knockout Cup championships in the 1990s. After winning that league championship in '97, the Bradford Dukes, they closed their doors for good. Several times since '97, businessmen have come and tried to revive the Dukes, resurrect them. However, so far, no luck.